All right, so we have an overview of videos for you to implement right away. It's something that you can take what you learned on Saturday at the workshop and implement it into your routine. You can use all of it or some of it. Just remember that it is a general plan. Some of us might need more individualized programming because we might have pre-existing conditions, pain, we have ranges of motion that needs to be addressed, muscular imbalances that need to be addressed, and that's one of those times where you're going to get some one-on-one training, have an assessment done, whether it's FMS or come see me and do an IMS assessment, so on and so forth. Those just shared some general stuff with you. Now it might even have to get further in depth with assessment if you're having some of those issues. Some extra tips. We talked about strength. So I'll demonstrate some strength tips that you could implement into your training that you would use outside of your training days when you're running. So on your strength days, for example. One, we want to be able to produce more force. So if we're stronger, we'll be able to produce more force, therefore we can run further, or we'll have more strength endurance. So things like lunges. I prefer walking because we're going to run forward. Lateral lunges where we're walking. Okay, things like that. Those are a couple of strength tips that you can use, or strength exercises you can use. Stepping up's another good one. This is a really high box, but you're going to step up. Oh, actually, let me use this bench. Stepping up. And again, you want something about knee height, or you have 90 degrees of knee flexion. That's about the right height. Step up, control it, control down. Make sure your knees over your foot as you step up or step down. Alternate sides. You can also do this loaded with weight. A couple of dumbbells, a couple of kettlebells, weight vest. Okay. So those are some, and then you got your squats and deadlifts and things like that, RDLs. Supine bridges, great for the hips. Okay, those are all strength exercises that you can benefit from, right? Looks like boot camp or group fitness. So the other thing that often doesn't get addressed is the strength that is required to decelerate force. So every time your foot lands, we have to decelerate force. So we can work on that as well. That's going to be a little different. So doing things like our reaching lunges with the dumbbells. So I'll use the block as my load. This is a dumbbell, but these reaching lunges, that's a decelerative force that we're working on. Lateral reaching lunges. Okay? This was a box working on step ups and step downs. So I'm on the box and I'm stepping down, and then stepping back up to the box, stepping down. That's another great decelerative strengthening exercise. And you can also do it laterally, stepping down this way. Okay, so hope you like my box. Using the band, as I demonstrated before, as a deceleration tool. Going to wrap it around something, get in it, and then you're always lunging back towards it. And that's the deceleration side of things. So I got forces pulling me this way. Now I have to deal with it and decelerate. Or laterally. Okay? Now, super important to work on deceleration. Another aspect is power, and this also works on deceleration, but little jumps, jump rope, one leg hops. It all strengthens that lower leg, gets you ready to decelerate when you run. Okay, so those are a few examples. There's tons of them out there, but just thought I'd give you some ideas with that. The other thing to take into consideration is nutrition. It's super important that nutrition's on point. Now, here's where people make a lot of mistakes, is they have two goals in mind. One, they want to lose weight, and then they want to go do a long run. They don't usually play well together. If you're trying to lose weight, get lean, that requires a restriction of carbohydrates. When you go run and you want to run a long distance, it requires carbohydrates so you have energy. So they don't work well together. Sometimes you have to pick and choose. And that's where you get a coach like myself or Tay involved to help you with cycling your carbs so you can have the fuel you need to perform on your workout days, and then still lower them when you're trying to lean out and find that balance. So that's one thing that people make a mistake on, is they try to perform with no carbohydrates. Two is pre, post, and during nutrition. They're all different, they have different goals, but you should have some fuel, especially if you're doing a longer training session when you got some distance to cover. Then you're going to want to pre-fuel your body and prep it for that training. That means having some type of carb and protein, preferably liquid, low fat, and you're going to do that 1 to 3 hours before your training, and then also ramp up your hydration. 8 to 60 ounces of water. During, same thing, you want some type of liquid, carb, protein. Some people use GU. We talked about how proteins actually make working better with the carbohydrates than carbohydrates alone. And then you should be sipping 8 to 16 ounces every hour you're training. And then post, we talked about post already, is that 2 to 1, 3 to 1 carb protein ratio. And then that should happen within that 45-minute period after your training, and then following up maybe another meal that has a little bit of complex carbs like a sweet potato, protein, and some healthy fat. And then that whole process starts every single day. So that's some basics on nutrition. Okay. Again, if you need, some of us need more guidance there, need more individualized, that would require a meeting with one of our coaches or myself. Okay, so some quick tips to help you with your running.